So I've been asked to, have a talk with everybody about what's going on. So a little bit about myself. I'm nobody special. I'm just a dance teacher and a choreographer. From a child going on holiday, I was in Portugal this time, and I saw a lot of animals, a lot of stray dogs, starving to death, overheating, dehydrating, that actually ruined my holiday as a little girl. One of my most strongest memories of that holiday was one of the stray dogs trying to get in the taxi with us. And of course, through fear that the dog maybe had rabies, my mother closed the door. And she and I have always felt very sad about that moment. So this problem that's going on is not just Romania. It's all over the world actually, but particularly what I'm aware of at the moment is in Europe. So it's Portugal, that's Spain, Greece, Romania, everywhere. I really think something needs to be done about this problem, and we can't keep closing our eyes to it. We have to act, we have to stand together, we have to make a change. Compassion and love is so important to teach in this world, to make it a better place. And in my opinion, if you can harm an animal or an innocent creature, whether that be a child, whether that be another human being, whether that be an animal, whether, any type of living being, that doesn't have a positive influence on our world that we're going to live in. Something really has to be done. This is way beyond what I can do. Like I said, I'm just a regular person. This has to be seen with open eyes by everybody. This problem has to be changed. Something has to be done. For example, in Romania, the solution at this moment to control the stray dog population is to actually put them into nothing. It's nothing worse than a concentration camp. And then eventually those dogs, if they do not die from illness, because there's no medical treatment for them, then they're going to die from starvation or from thirst or from being attacked, bitten by other dogs, because they're all crammed into these tiny cages and they're all fighting for food. The way that they're put down is not a humane way to be put down. They're held down and injected with acid, or they're beaten over the head, or I don't even want to imagine the other ways that they get rid of these animals, because there is such a huge amount of animals in these shelters that it is almost impossible for them to handle this situation. The mentality is all wrong. They look at these animals, because they're overpopulating over there, like vermin. And of course, I'm not speaking for every person in Romania. I'm talking about the government and what the government are, their solution to dealing with this problem. It's clear to me that the only way for them to make a difference, to cure this problem that they have over there, is to spay and neuter the animals. There needs to be a program. This needs to sweep across Europe and the rest of the world. Spay and neutering is the only way to stop this problem, to stop the suffering of all these thousands upon thousands of animals. Also education. We need to educate our children. We need to educate the children around the world to teach them compassion and love for animals, for each other. This planet belongs to all of us, and it may just be a dog. I've been asked many times, why do you care so much about dogs? I care about everyone. I care about children, people. I care about the planet, and I try my best. I'm not perfect, but I try my best to do what I can to make a difference. And if everybody stood up and everybody acted small ways, donate, spread awareness, talk to your children, teach love, compassion to your children. Sometimes the smallest acts can come together to make the biggest effect. We're all responsible for that. And so this is my message to everyone. Please, let's make a difference here.
Hello, Gemma, can you please tell us what's in the car?
We have, as you can see, a big truck full of donations that from my dance school and friends we've collected together for the stray dogs in Romania.
How did you come in contact with the people of Romania?
My mother, after losing her dog, was looking for another companion. And she searched on the internet, actually, and she found an organisation that rehome dogs from Romania. And by her doing so, she became more and more aware of the problems over there, and obviously told me about it, being an animal lover. And yeah, because of that, I started to investigate myself a lot through Facebook, a lot on the internet. There's a lot of YouTube videos as well, so yeah, that's what got me motivated to do something about it.
Wow, that's very cool. With these organizations, how many dogs are you saving, actually?
Well, with the organizations at the moment, I believe that they have over 2,000 dogs that they're trying to shelter themselves and trying to feed. But actually, this is just this is just a small part of fixing the problem. This is just like putting a plaster, a band-aid on the wound. Actually, what is needed is much greater than donations. It's actually awareness, and for the government and for the European Union to actually come together to actually do something. And what I think is the biggest problem is the fact that they have so many dogs over there. They keep breeding and breeding and breeding. That actually neutering and education is actually, I think, going to fix the problem eventually, or at least make it a lot better than what it is now.
How can people help you further with this case?
Well, of course, donating. Especially giving donations to reputable charities over there that are actually doing something to help. That's some ways people can help. Also, through donations, we plan as often as we can to raise up the money to send over donations. And I think just spreading awareness, and I would say adopt from any shelter, whether it be in your own country, whether it to be Romania, Portugal, Spain. There's a lot of animals that are really needing a home. And there's the slogan, shop, don't adopt. So, no, adopt, don't shop. So it's better to adopt an animal than to go and buy. Maybe that will help with the populations out there of animals that need rehoming. A lot of evidence on YouTube, a lot of videos, people taken of the treatment of the dogs in Romania, also cats, I must say. Some of the most horrific, which of course nobody likes to see, but really opened my eyes, was local people, for laughs, pinning down a stray dog and with a large knife, machete, cutting off the dog's legs and laughing as it tries to run away with its remaining legs intact. I mean, this this shows what a massive problem over there is, that mentality, and there's no protection for these animals. There's no consequence for the people that's doing it, so they're just there as entertainment almost for these very heartless, evil, cruel people. There's also evidence that over Christmas time, for example, the doors are closed to the public shelters, and nobody goes in to feed or give water to the dogs in there, which of course you can imagine after 2 weeks there's not many left still alive, and the ones that are absolutely desperate for food and water. I'll leave it to your imagination what happens to the dogs that are in there for those 2 weeks. This is something that is totally unacceptable. So many dogs are starving, needing medical treatment, needing help, and they're just left to suffer. And as I said previously, this is something that will not only get better by donations. Unfortunately, as you can imagine, there's also some organisations that take advantage of people's goodwill, and that I don't always believe that the money always goes to the dogs. Of course, there are reputable companies, and I do, advise people, if you want to act, awareness is the biggest thing. This has to go to the governments. This has to go further than just us. We have to stand together, and something has to be done. This is no way to live.
My name is Ira Bangula. I'm a friend of Gemma Blauer, who started the whole rescue mission with the Romanian dogs. I have nothing to do with the animals in my daily life. I'm in daily life interior architect, and this is what I'm doing for my life. When I met Gemma as a dance teacher of my kids, she asked me if I could help her making codes for Romanian dogs, because she wanted to make their life easier since it's very cold and nobody cares about stray dogs there. After our first meeting as friends and not as a mother and a teacher, we came to the conclusion that it would be better actually to help them in a better way than just making codes. And then our mission began. We started with collecting food donations and blankets and towels for those poor animals. In the parallel, we were trying to contact the European Commission. There is a special department for stray dogs, which sits in Brussels. We sent them an open letter saying about the problem, explaining and asking to be intervened into this problem. However, we never got any response from European Commission. Luckily, we could gain 1 ton of food for animals and about 40 boxes of towels, blankets, and other helpful stuff for stray dogs. After a huge work, we gained also some donations of money, which could help us to send a truck to Romania. There is a private organization, which is run by 2 guys called Brave Hearts. They sit in Galati in Romania, and after rescuing dogs from the public shelters, they have 1,200 dogs. So this truck was loaded recently in beginning of the March, and it's now in Romania for those stray dogs. However, the problem is much bigger than what we could help. We couldn't help, of course, to the whole problem. The thing that, as far as we know, there are many, many stray dogs in Romania, and they are not sponsored by the government for neutering or helping them. So actually, they just catch them to the public shelters. By the end of the year, they kill those animals, and this is their way to handle the problem. The good thing that we could gain here, many friends and people who were care about those stray dogs and they could help us. But of course we are normal people, we can't make a big change for that. And we know that the problem, it's not only in Romania, but also in other European countries like Spain, Bulgaria, and other places. What we are wondering is that how those countries who are actually claiming to be a part of European Union are not following the regulations and laws according to the statements of European Commission about stray dogs. And this is what we actually tried to reach with our letter, which was sent to European Commission. Unfortunately, we never got any response from those people. We know that there is a big market of those dogs. Many people who are helping, but there are also many people who are trying to sell. There is a huge scams with those animals. We have few friends who try to adopt dogs, and they were really milked by those people by meanings of money and playing with their emotions. So of course there are some good people, there are also some bad people, and this is why it's important that it will be solved in governmental level, because people can't know to who they are supposed to help and to who not. Additionally to helping dogs with food and blankets, we decided to adopt some dogs. We were trying to ask our friends who wants to do that, but of course we can't adopt everyone, but we could rescue few. So actually my story was a bit funny because we already had a dog and we didn't plan to have another one. But Gemma called me one day almost crying and saying there are 3 puppies which were supposed to go to Holland for adoption, and those people decided not to take them anymore. And of course, which means that those puppies would go back to the public shelter where you have a -20 temperature. Nobody cares, nobody vaccinates, nobody does anything to those animals, and they will die there. So she told me she would take 2 puppies, and there is one that he has no place. So I took on myself a mission to find him a home. Since we knew it's going to be a very big dog, of course I was honest with my friends, publishing and saying, okay, we have this kind of puppy that we should rescue. But people are not really big fans of having a big dogs because it's restricting your life. So actually we ended up with a Snoopy being our extra family member. He is a very good dog. He's a mix of everything. We don't know what exactly he is, but what we do know that he's very kind and big dog. Okay. In addition to European Commission, we had a contact with the mayor of Galati city. We contacted him through his page on the Facebook and official website. We sent the same letter asking to get involved and to help to those stray animals. However, it was the same result like with the European Commission. Nobody ever came back with the answer. All emails were sent in December, which actually means 4 months from now. We think it's long enough to have any kind of response. We also tried to contact local Romanian rescue organizations, asking if they could have a place for those animals to rescue till we'll find them a home. Unfortunately, they were all in this bad situation, food with the animals, and they couldn't help us as well. We also tried to contact local Belgian asylum, but according to European law or local regulations, they couldn't accept animals from another countries because they are also full with animals and they have to take care first of the animals in the local country. we actually really hope that there would be somebody in the governmental level who will be ready to pick up this problem and to find a solution.
Hallo, ik ben Nicolas Bangula. Ik ben de zoon van Ira Bangula. Dit is mijn nieuwe hond Snoopy. Hij is een zwerverhondje uit Roemenië. Hoe wij hem hebben gekregen is door de vriendin van onze mama. Die heeft 2 hondjes geadopteerd, zijn broertje en zijn zusje. En daardoor werd hij alleen achtergelaten. En we vonden dat erg, dus wij hebben beslist om hem mee te nemen. Wij hebben hem al ondertussen 2 maanden. Hij is een heel grote hond, maar hij zal nog groeien. Hij is heel aardig en Caramel, mijn kleine hond, en mijn grote hond Snoopy zijn beste vrienden van elkaar. Ze spelen elke dag samen. Hij is ook heel lief en het zijn ook heel slimme dieren. Wat ik zelf over zwerverhondjes uit Roemenië vind, ik vind het eigenlijk best erg en ik vind dat wij Belgische mensen hier, wij hebben hier alles en dat we misschien een beetje steun kunnen geven aan de honden daar. Ja. Ik zou zeker aanraden om de groep te steunen en misschien een centje te betalen om de honden wat eten of zo aan hun te geven.
Hello, my name is Ingrid. I'm a teacher and a fitness instructor, and I consider myself also to be a big animal lover. A couple of months ago, I was still looking for a dog to adopt, because we don't just want to buy a dog, but save a dog. And through friends of mine, I came into contact with Facebook pages like Angel Watch Rescue and other ones from dogs in Romania. I learned that those dogs are treated really bad, and shelters over there don't really take care of the dogs, just keep them until they are tired of having them or don't have money to make sure they're being well fed or something. So those shelters aren't really a good place for dogs. I have a couple of friends who already rescued dogs from over there, and they were quite satisfied about procedure. So one day I got a link from a friend of mine with a dog, Kashmir. My husband and I really liked. She just had 5 pups and wasn't really ready to be adopted, but no matter what, we really wanted to have Kashmir, so we got into contact with the person who's the manager from the organization and asked if we could adopt, which she early on agreed on, but things went bad really fast. The contact with the manager, Alina, was rather friendly in the beginning. She was a bit hard to contact because apparently she lives in Canada, so there's a time difference. I only could speak to her through chat on late in the evening. At the beginning she was really friendly. We had a conversation about Kashmir, how she was like and how her pups looked like. Her English wasn't that well, and as you can hear, mine isn't either, so maybe there were a bit of misunderstandings throughout the conversation. In the beginning she thought I would only wanted to foster Kashmir, so send them money to have her vaccinated, have her taken care of, nice food for her. But I told her, I made her really clear, I wanted to adopt Kashmir as well. So let her shipped over to Belgium with maybe one of her pups. We were really certain about Kashmir, but we were still in doubt about the pups. So that became really clear to her, and she agreed. She gave me a lot of numbers, actually payments I had to pay for her, like transport fee was £140. Fees, I don't know what they include, but it was fees, £70, sterilization 40, vaccination 70, and to be her foster every month she had to be in the shelter, £45. So I came in total on £325, which is quite a number, quite an amount to pay, but I did agree. Afterwards, I checked their website and I found other numbers there. Sterilization was separately to pay, but vaccination, foster, it was all in the fees. So I didn't quite understand where all the other numbers came from. I asked her personally, and she wasn't really clear on that. She told me, and she started about fostering again, not adopting, that they use the money, they really use the money for other dogs as well. They can't just use my money for my dog, but all the other dogs get treated or have food from my money as well. And I told her, yeah, I would love to help other dogs too, but you know, I'm not that rich, so I really want her to take care of my dog, because that's the dog I chose. And she told me, yeah, with £70 you can't really help all the dogs. And her voice was a little less friendly now. I asked her, when can I have Kashmir? Because, yeah, I know she had puppies and we had to wait. But in meanwhile, every month I had to wait. I had to pay foster money as well, £45. So I really wanted to have a date. Also, I have 3 children. They were very excited about the dog. You have to tell them when the dog is coming. Then after a while she could respond me like, yeah, in 2.5 months you can have the dog. If you want the puppies too, they have to have more vaccinations, so probably 4 to 5 months. And then I told her, okay, 2.5 months, it sounds reasonable. She needs to rest, she needs to take care of her pups. But I want to make sure that I really have the dog after 2.5 to 3 months. And then she was like, yeah, if the home check is okay. And I asked her, what home check? Should I send pictures of the house? Or, you know, it sounded normal, a home check. And then she said, no, we can't believe people on pictures. You really have to have someone from our organization over to you. And she talked about somebody in Holland. And it would cost us €300. And I was like, yeah, I already have £325 to pay. Why an additional €300? That's a lot of money to have a dog shipped over to us. And she told us, you can drop the €300 from Holland and we will find somebody for you in Belgium to do a home check, and for your friend as well. My friend still had a dog there. She was fostering already and wanted to have shipped over to Belgium as well. So I was kind of worried. Something in my gut told me there was a lot of money to be asked from me, and I couldn't get a guarantee that I would still have the dog over to me. So I asked my friend what she thought about this situation, and she was a bit surprised that she still had a home check to do, because she already had 2 dogs over from Romania from another organization, but she already had 2 dogs, and her own dog was waiting with Angel Watch Rescue, and she didn't knew about a home check, and she was already paying for him. So I didn't think that was a correct way to treat us. Home check is obviously reasonable to ask, but we still need to know that we can have the dog in the end. If they want to do a home check, do it in the beginning and not after 2-3 months, and maybe tell us no. So my friend contacted Alina also, and after an hour or so, Alina came back to me and was really horrible in the way she responded to me. She told me I was a horrible person, and I don't have a heart for dogs, and I'm cheap, and I don't understand what it is to foster dogs. I just want to have a dog over here and not treat it well, and all kinds of horrible stuff she was telling me, and she was really rude. And she told me she would send me my money back. I already paid for Kashmir a whole lot of money in 2 times. It was 40 euros the first time and 95 the second time. And she transferred me the money through PayPal back. And I really got the feeling that she was rude and sent me the money because she wanted me to leave her alone. I found that she was, maybe thinking that I would be on to her, and I got a really bad vibe. I wanted to reply, but I didn't, because I knew my friend still wanted to have her dog over from Romania. We, on the other hand, decided not to go further with Kashmir, because I don't feel I'm a milk cow, and I'm really sorry for the dog, but we had to let her go. What I really would like to ask the people of the European Committee is that animal rights are being watched. You have those horrible shelters in Romania. You have animals being abused actually everywhere in the world, also Spain. Also here in Belgium, I know it's not a problem for only the east or the south, it's also here in Belgium. You have these horrible puppy mills where dogs are being bred, and they're not being taken care of, They don't look after the health of the dogs. They stay in these tiny cages or boxes. They only get to be fed, old bread, not real puppy food. And it's horrible how these animals are being treated, not only dogs, cats, horses, It happens everywhere and to every kind of animal. And it would be lovely that people who do such horrible things can get punished. I just want them not to be able to get away with this. There are terrible things happening to people all over the world, and they get a voice, and I really should think that animals deserve a voice too. So please take care of these practices.
So in 2014, I've been involved in a case relating puppy transports or dog transports from Romania to Belgium. I assisted a Belgian female, a Belgian wife that was involved in this import of dogs from Romania. This wife, this woman, was a voluntary, and she wanted to help the dogs from Romania because she felt that something had to be done. and she put the dogs on transport to Belgium, and she searched for the dogs adoption families. This woman had shown me images of so-called shelters in Romania. That's the English name, so shelters, and the images were to a Belgian standard unacceptable, which remains remarkable. I can understand that Romania, Bulgaria, and these Eastern European countries are less rich than Western European countries, but I think that in Romania there is more at stake than only poverty. I guess, in my opinion, the Romanian problem and the Bulgarian problem is also a problem of cultural habits and of the position of the animal in society. Spain, for example, has the same problem. It's because Spain is a good example. In Spain, people are richer, but animals are treated not as good as in Belgium. And Romania, in my opinion, it's the same problem. It's a cultural problem where animals, together with other parts of society, do not have any value, and certainly dogs that don't have an owner are treated very badly or are even killed in the streets. So I truly think that there is a problem in Romania. I can judge it by the images that are made in these Romanian shelters. And if it is true that the European Commission or one of the departments of the European Commission is sending lots of money to these Romanian shelters, but does not verify how these funds are used, then we have a tremendous problem. And Romania should realize that it's not only in the benefit of the animals that they should verify how the funds, the European funds, are used, but it's also in the benefit of Romania as a country itself. There is European legislation, there is a European protocol stating that all member states have the duty to have regard to the welfare of animals. So if Romania believes that it is a true European country and that it is a country that should be part of the European Union, it should also accept that in the European Union, situations like in some Romanian shelters are unacceptable. And in my opinion, the European Union nowadays is evolving in such a way that we will see which countries are ready to stay and to remain in the European Union and which countries are not. And I believe, and I don't think that it's naive to think like that, but I believe that that also the way animals are treated will one day be relevant to make this decision with which countries the European Union wants to stay, wants to be in one and the same union, and with which countries we do not. So I truly think that there is a problem in Romania. I think that the European Commission should increase the control, the checks on the way the funds are used, and I think that the Romanian government and the Romanian judicial authorities should realize that people complaining about the suffering of these dogs are not just people that have too much time and should better be doing other things, but that are people that are acting from an ethical standard, and that their complaints should be taken seriously. So I truly hope that the European Commission will act, and if it is the case that the funds are misused, then these funds should no longer be given to corrupt shelters or corrupt local authorities that seem to be running the local shelters.